Apotheosis Chapter 31. Outside the blood-red mountain, there was a burst of exclamations. To be able to become a mentor of the Blue Cloud sect, their knowledge was definitely not lacking. After so many years, what kind of genius had they not seen? Some of the famous geniuses and experts were even groomed by them. But at this moment, these mentors could not help but exclaim. These mentors had a clear understanding of Fang Yushu's strength, and they were even more clear about the power of the void-slashing blade in Fang Yushu's hand. Those energy threads were extremely sharp and could easily cut a low-grade spirit weapon into two. Even a mid-grade spirit weapon would not be able to withstand those threads. At the very least, a high-grade spirit weapon would be required to block those threads. But the scene just now was so strange. Luo Zheng had actually used his body to block those threads. Everyone thought that Luo Zheng was just putting up a final struggle before being eliminated. This struggle was undoubtedly futile. Against Fang Yushu, who was wielding a spirit weapon, Luo Zheng had no chance of winning. The only result of pouncing towards those energy threads was to be cut into pieces by them. But not only did Luo Zheng break those threads, he also took advantage of Fang Yushu's momentary shock to seize the opportunity to eliminate Fang Yushu. It was no wonder that everyone was shocked. How did this kid train his body? Was it as strong as a high-grade mystic weapon? Fang Yen looked at the messy image on the letter tablet, and his mouth was filled with a bitter taste. He never thought that Fang Yushu would actually be eliminated. The Fang family had sent 4 gentry disciples, and 3 of them were eliminated at once. The remaining one's strength was average, and it would probably be difficult for him to pass the trial of blood red. And one of them was a direct descendant of the Fang family. It looked like the next time he returned to the Fang family, he would definitely receive a scolding. Although it was not difficult for the Fang family to enter the Blue Cloud sect, the fact that not a single one of the 4 Fang family disciples had passed to the Fang family, this was a complete loss of face. Luo Zheng. Fang Yanji clenched his teeth and engraved this name in his mind. There were many geniuses in the Blue Cloud sect, but there were even more who died prematurely. He wanted to see what would happen to this guy. After all the mentors finished reading, Luo Zheng disappeared without a trace on the letter tablet. However, they still wanted to see what had happened, but because Fang Yushu had been eliminated, they could no longer track Luo Zheng on the letter tablet. A few of the mentors were so angry that they jumped up and down. With nowhere to vent their anger, they actually pointed at Zhong Ming's nose and cursed. After being scolded, Zhong Ming's face was so gloomy that water could drip from it. He wanted to defend himself, but when he thought of the terrifying rumors behind Teacher Su, he could only swallow this bitter fruit into his stomach. Zhong Ming's heart was filled with resentment. He had nowhere to vent his anger. He was really unlucky today. Who could he blame for these things? It's Luo Zheng's fault. He finally found a target to vent his anger on. From the first time he saw Luo Zheng, he was already unhappy. A trial disciple from the grassroots actually dared to refute his words, causing him to lose face in front of Teacher Su. Now, he was even scolded by these mentors. The more he thought about it, the angrier Zhong Ming got. He glanced at the illusion array disc beside him and his heart suddenly jumped. Hee, stinking brat, you want to pass the trial of blood and fire? No way. The illusion array on the blood-colored mountain was made by a master of the Blue Cloud sect. Among them, thousands of large and small illusion arrays and those illusory beasts were all controlled by the illusion array disc in his hand. Since this brat made him unhappy, then he could forget about passing the trial of blood and fire. Zhong Ming quietly turned around and placed his hand on the innermost ring of the illusion array disc without anyone noticing. There were a total of 5 circles in this illusion array disc, each representing the 5 levels of Blood Red Mountain. In the middle level, there was only one level 5 illusion beast. That illusion beast's strength was comparable to a Xiantian Mystic Realm expert. Due to the huge difference in strength between it and the disciples participating in the trial of Blood Red Mountain, no one had challenged it since its establishment. In fact, many people had raised their opinions about the necessity of this level 5 illusion beast because it was impossible for anyone to succeed in the challenge. It was meaningless to put a level 5 illusion beast there. Moreover, it consumed too much energy to use the illusion array to create a level 5 illusion beast. It was purely a waste. However, this suggestion was rejected when it was put forward. The opinion of the higher-ups of the Blue Cloud sect was that since this level 5 illusion beast had been created, it should just be placed there as a decoration. There was no need to make any changes. Zhong Ming quietly erased the ring in the center of the illusion array disk. At the same time, he controlled the level 5 illusion beast to leave the central area and run wildly in the direction of Luo Zheng. You can even block the space-slashing blade. I wonder if you can block this level 5 illusion beast. A sinister smile appeared on Zhong Ming's face. Luo Zheng did not know that his actions had caused a huge uproar outside. After eliminating Fang Yushu, the dozens of crystal fragments on the ground belonged to him. Now, the crystal fragments in his hands had far exceeded the requirements of the trial of blood red. It seemed that he only needed to find a corner and quietly wait for the time to end. Then, he would be able to become an outer disciple of the Blue Cloud sect. Although the wounds on his body looked terrifying, they were actually not that serious. Although the silk threads had caused his hands and feet to be badly mutilated, it was a shocking sight. These were only external injuries and did not cause any real harm to his body. Luo Zheng exerted strength in his body. The wounds on his arms and legs immediately spurted out blood. Under the pressure of his muscles, the wounds quickly closed and stopped bleeding. Controlling the muscles in his body to quickly stop the bleeding and make the wounds heal quickly was something that a peak flesh refinement realm cultivator could do. Then, he walked back and forth. After feeling that his body was fine, he chose a direction to leave. He still felt a little regretful. Fang Yushu had a spirit weapon. If the black flame in his mind had swallowed the spirit weapon, how many dragon scales would he have been able to light up? Would it be 3? Or 5? Luo Zheng was also not sure. Presumably, it would be much more than the molten iron essence refined from a high-grade profound weapon. It was a pity that after killing Fang Yushu, his entire body was wrapped in light. However, this kind of treasure, if he really snatched it, the Fang clan would probably not rest until he was dead. He did not have the qualifications to snatch other people's spirit weapons. As for the crystal fragments in his hands, he did not know what to do with them. If he found Mo Can, he could give some to him. However, the environment of the third level was so vast. Where was he going to find Mo Can? After walking forward for some distance, Luo Zheng suddenly felt the ground shake violently. Then he heard a dong sound, as if a huge giant had stepped on the ground, making a muffled sound. Dong. 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 Every time that sound was heard, the ground would shake. Moreover, the sound was getting louder and louder, and the shaking was getting more and more intense. Luo Zheng was startled. What was rushing towards him? It couldn't be such a coincidence. How could he encounter so many messy things in just one trip to the trial by blood? The result was similar to what he had guessed. Luo Zheng turned around and saw 3 or 4 trial disciples and 2 landowning households frantically running away. Behind them, the stone forest suddenly collapsed. Then, a giant monster rushed out. The monster had a human form, but there were 2 sharp horns on its head. Its eyes were burning with raging flames. Is this a demon? Looking at the 6-meter-tall monster, Luo Zheng stared blankly. Judging from the 2 sharp horns, this monster should be a demon. The demon was a race that was stronger than humans. In ancient times, they had always been the mortal enemy of humans. There were all kinds of legends and records about the demon race. Bloodthirsty, cruel, cannibalistic. All kinds of legends about the demon race were passed down by word of mouth. They could make adults change their expressions and children stop crying. But this was not the main problem. This demon race obviously should not appear in the third layer of the illusion. The demon race rushed out and slapped a trial disciple. In an instant, the trial disciple was sent flying. Before he landed, countless light spots enveloped the trial disciple's body. He was already eliminated. The fate of the other noble child was even worse. He was directly grabbed by the demon race. With a sharp scream, he was stuffed into the demon race's mouth. In an instant, countless light spots appeared in the demon race's mouth. Another person was eliminated. At this time, Luo Zheng finally reacted. This demon race was at least a level 5 phantom beast. As for why this level 5 phantom beast could appear in the third layer, Luo Zheng did not have the time to think about it. His only thought now was to run. Luo Zheng did not expect that it would be fine if he did not run. As soon as he ran, the demon race ignored the others and chased after him with its huge feet. Don't look at the demon race's slow movements. Each of its steps was equivalent to 7 or 8 steps of Luo Zheng. Its speed was much faster than Luo Zheng's. In a short time, Luo Zheng adjusted his breathing to the best state, striving to reach his fastest speed to get rid of the demon race. He had already passed the bloody trial. If he was killed by the demon race at this critical stage, it would be too unfair. However, even if Luo Zheng sprinted forward at full speed, the distance between him and the demon race was getting closer and closer. The strength of the two was not on the same level. Naturally, their speed was also not on the same level. When the demon race was about 5 or 6 feet away from Luo Zheng, it suddenly jumped. At the same time, it waved its thick palm and slapped down on Luo Zheng's head.